Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this quick figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers earthspark. This is the warrior class Megatron figure. So with this video we're going to have a quick look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to have a look at the accessory that comes with him and the little gimmick that it's got. We're going to do a couple of comparisons with some other figures as well, just to give you an idea of his size and his scale. And of course, let's have a look at it from two sort of sets of eyes, so one from our reviewer side and then one from a more younger collector. So this is the figure. Obviously it would come packaged like so, it would be tied in, but to speed the video up I've cut the ties and took him out. There of course is his appearance in the actual cartoon, and indeed there is again the image of the gimmick that I'm about to show you. And we can see that even though it's a warrior class, it's going to take 15 steps to transform him. Right, let's have a look at him then. Now the figure itself, I don't want to say it's as basic as they come, because he's not too bad. And again, the reason why I'm saying this figure is about £11, £12, which to be fair, the core class figures are sometimes coming in at about the same. Now obviously they've got probably the same amount of articulation. The main difference for these is these are probably about the same weight. These are really hollow, and again I don't want to use the term basic because they've got the same articulation, but with these things, which would probably bother an adult collector, if I was to give this my son, he wouldn't even notice that there are these huge gaps in the back of the forearms and the back of the where the calves would be. He wouldn't even notice it. The articulation wise, again, you can see there's none on the head because it's just one big solid piece of plastic. You can see the shoulders are ball and socket, so you can come all the way out to the side, and of course you've got all them ranges of motion. You don't have the swivel at the shoulder, but you can see again the bicep is on a ball and socket, so loads of different rotation and movement. The fists are all molded in. You do actually have a waist swivel and rotation. Hips again ball and sockets. Knees are on a hinge, and unbelievably the ankles are again on ball and sockets. So again, for a basic figure, very articulate, looks very good. The only thing is, as I say, he does feel a little, ironically enough, he does feel flimsy, and as I've said, he does feel light, but that is probably because the plastic is a little bit more flexible in case you've got a more heavy-handed collector, shall we say. With regards to ironically enough, I didn't own another warrior class figure until I brought this just to do the review on the, of course, the mainline figure. But you can see that Megatron holds his own in regards to the size compared to her, which again is good. With regards to, as I say, other figures, what have I got hanging around here? I've got a G1 Optimus Prime, which is way bigger. I wasn't going to do millions of comparisons on here because again it's just a basic quick look at it. With regards to the accessory though, the accessory looks pretty good. Again, it's hollow, but the main reason for it being hollow is this is the gimmick. Out folds the blade like so, and what you've got is you've either got a 5mm port here that if you wanted to, doesn't look great though guys, pop in his hand, looks reasonable, but what you're actually supposed to do with it, as you can see there by that image, is attach it to his forearm there, and there you've got the blade on the side. The problem with this though, you've got to balance the propeller there, because if the arm comes out, sometimes with the weight difference and the fact that it is so hollow, it will of course tip him over. But again, not too bad for the price point. Looks okay. There's a few paint apps, obviously the red on him, this is reflecting obviously off there. They've got the Decepticon symbol right inside there with the other, because of course, in fact I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's not seen it, there's obviously a big I suppose surprise with Megatron at the end of the first episode into the beginning of the second. It is worth a watch. I'm currently going back watching them all with my son, and again they are definitely worth the watch. The other thing as well, I suppose, is because they've got these 5mm ports, if anybody's got any other figures or they want to sometimes maybe borrow some of the adult collectors accessories, because there's 5mm ports on the forearms and in their hands, you can of course, if you wanted to, and this is only because he's here, we can take his accessories and we can pop them in his hands. And of course he says, I don't want to snap the handle off on this now, but knowing my luck I probably will, he can of course wield and use any mainline figures 5mm ported accessory. But there you go, this is supposed to be just a quick review. That is him in his robot mode. I'm going to upload the transformation process separately, as I say, to help people out, but here he is in the alternate. So then here we are back for the final time with him in his alternate mode, which to be honest, it's not too bad. It's a little better than just somebody who's we've folded their legs up and put their arms out. The head is covered up a little bit, but it's, I suppose because it's a completely standalone vehicle, they've got away with it, because I don't really know what it is. It's a bit like an aeroplane, sort of tied in with a helicopter. I can't really tell. Of course, it's supposed to be like an aircraft of some sort, but maybe because, well, it's on Earth, so you can't even really call it. Can you call it a Cybertronian spaceship? I don't really know. I've just noticed that the legs have just popped off there now. Obviously, quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. What I've done is because it just seems to work better, I've put it in a separately uploaded video, so if you want to watch it, you can. I know that the other earthspark videos are doing really well, because obviously these figures are aimed at the younger viewers, so I'm hoping that it's helping them out, and it's again in a tutorial just in case. So what we've got here then, this is of course the accessory. Obviously when it was in the other mode, it was folded out like a sword, but for this we're going to fold it in so it looks more like a cannon, and then these two tabs will indeed just fit on top of the roof like so, which makes it look a little bit better, does it? I'm not 100% convinced. At least the propellers go all the way around, which is obviously good. I suppose with regards to some of the mainline figures, there's a deluxe drag strip, so it's weird, this warrior class, because it's about the same height in robot mode as some of the deluxe figures, but then I suppose it's, well, here's, funny enough, here's another warrior class figure obviously that we've had, and again from the first part, so I suppose they're pretty much keeping the same sort of scale along with it. But I say it did take 15 steps. It's not too difficult. It's just a bit basic, which again, I know that that's what it's aimed at. So I think it's covering and it's ticking all boxes, to be honest. I can't really pick fault with it, to be honest, to say, because for what it is, for what it's aimed at, and the price point. So the warrior class, these are coming in now around about £11–12. Some places they're reduced to 10, but obviously the deluxe are some cases double that. So it does obviously suit its price point, shall we say. It's always going to be hollow. I'm just bringing in other figures to give you an idea of the size and indeed scale of it, even though you're not getting much. You've got more from the first part when he was in robot mode, but there we go. As promised and as requested by a few viewers, I've got a few more earthspark figures just to get reviewed as well. This one is one of the better ones. It's definitely better than the Alita and indeed the Skywarp that I reviewed of them pair. They were okay, but this figure is much better. Right, hope this helped with your decision anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.